day in the life of a blacksmith in the palace of ancient Egypt. Chapter 1. The First Light of Dawn. The story begins in the quiet before the sun. Your name is Neb, and you are a craftsman, a smith of the royal house. You sleep deeply in the cool of the night. Your chest rises and falls in a slow and steady rhythm. The linen sheet over you is soft from many washings in the Nile. It smells faintly of the river and of the desert sun in which it was dried. A gentle sound begins to stir you, not a loud noise, but a soft change in the air. It is the sound of the city of Wasit, also known as Thebes, beginning to breathe. A distant goose calls over the river. The sound carries over the water and through your window. It is a muffled, peaceful sound. You do not open your eyes yet. You simply listen. The air in your small house is cool. The mud brick walls, thick and sturdy, have held the night's chill. You feel the weight of the sheet, the firm support of the wooden headrest beneath your neck. It is carved from a single piece of tamarisk wood, smooth and cool against your skin. A softer sound now closer. It is the sound of your wife, Tia, moving quietly in the main room. You hear the gentle scrape of a grinding stone. It is a rhythmic, almost musical sound. She is beginning to grind the emmer wheat for the day's bread. The sound is steady and slow, a familiar morning song. You open your eyes. The room is dim. A faint gray light filters through the high window. It is not yet day, but the deep night has passed. You take a slow, deep breath. You smell the earthiness of the grain, the dry scent of the mud, bricks, the faint perfume of the lotus blossom, floating in a bowl of water. You rise slowly. Your feet touch the packed earth floor. It feels solid and cool. You walk to the doorway and look into the main room. Tia smiles at you, her hands covered in flour. Your young son, Peppy, still sleeps on his mat in the corner, a small lump beneath a linen blanket. You move to help Tia. You take the large quern stone, the saddle-shaped base, and hold it steady. She kneels and begins to move the smaller handstone back and forth over the grains. The emmer wheat, a gift from the temple stores, is hearty and nutritious. It makes a rich, dark flour. The sound is a soft, grinding crunch. It is the sound of patience, the sound of providing. Soon the flour is fine and ready. Tia mixes it with water from a clay jar and a little yeast saved from yesterday's batch. She kneads the dough, her hands strong and sure. She places the round, pale ball into a clay bowl and covers it with a damp cloth to rise in the warming air. You step outside into your small courtyard. The sky is now turning from gray to a soft, pale blue. The stars are fatting. The air is fresh and clean. You look up at the towering pylons of the great temple of Amun in the distance. Its silhouette is black against the brightening sky. It is a constant, reassuring presence. You return inside. The dough has risen. Tia shapes it into flat rounds. and places them on the hot stones at the edge of the fire pit. The scent of baking bread begins to fill the small house. It is a warm, comforting smell, the smell of home and safety, and a new day. Peppy begins to stir, awakened by the smell. He rubs his eyes and smiles. The three of you sit together on the floor, on a simple woven mat. You break the warm bread. It is coarse and chewy and wonderfully filling. You dip it into a small bowl of honey. From the hives along the river, the sweetness spreads slowly over your tongue. You also have a few dates, their dark, sticky flesh, a perfect contrast to the bread. And you share a cup of cool beer, a thin, nourishing brew made from more of the emmer wheat. It is not strong, but it is refreshing, and it completes the morning meal. There is no rush. You eat in peaceful silence, listening to the city wake. The sounds are still gentle. The clatter of a pot, the murmur of a neighbor's voice, the distant lowing of a cow. The sun has not yet crested the eastern hills. The world is soft and full of potential. You finish your meal, your stomach is full. Your body is warm. The simple, wholesome food gives you strength and a deep feeling of contentment. You look at your family, and your heart is quiet and still. The light through the door is now golden. The day is truly beginning. But in this moment, all is peace, all is calm. You feel a gentle heaviness in your limbs, a pleasant drowsiness from the warm food and the quiet rhythm of the morning. Your eyelids grow heavy as you remember the taste of the honey and the smell of the baking bread. The soft murmur of the city is a lullaby. You lean back against the cool mud wall and listen to your own breath, slow and steady. The world fades to a gentle hum. You feel safe. You feel nourished. You are home. And in this peaceful feeling, you allow your eyes to close. Just for a moment, the sounds drift away on the warm morning air. You drift into a soft and restful silence. Chapter 2. The walk along the river. The sun is now a hand's breadth above the horizon. Its light is warm, but not yet hot on your skin. You stand in the doorway of your house, ready for the day. You wear a simple linen kilt, clean and white. Your feet are shod in sturdy leather sandals. You carry a small satchel with a water skin and a piece of bread for your midday meal. You kiss Tia and Peppy goodbye. Their smiles are the last thing you see as you step out into the narrow street. The street is alive now. With the gentle bustle of the morning, people move with purpose, but not with hurry. Their voices are a low, melodic murmur. You turn onto the main thoroughfare that leads toward the palace workshops. The beaten earth path is wide and smooth from the passage of countless feet and the drag of countless sleds. To your left, the great river Nile flows, slow and majestic. Its water is the color of green silt from the rich, life-giving soil it carries. You walk at a slow, steady pace. You feel the sun on your shoulders. You hear the rustle of the papyrus reeds along the riverbank. A heron stands perfectly still in the shallow water, its gray-blue feathers matching the morning haze. The air smells of water and mud and blooming lotus. The sacred blue lotus flowers are beginning to open their delicate scent, carried on the breeze. You pass by the vast temple complex. Its high walls are covered in brightly painted carvings. You see the figures of gods and pharaohs, standing tall. Their stories are told in stone. You do not stop to look, but you feel their presence, a reminder of the order and the majesty of the world mad. The goddess of harmony holds her feather, and all is as it should be. You see other craftsmen on the path, a potter with clay under his nails, a carpenter with a saw over his shoulder. You nod to them, and they nod back. There is a shared understanding, a quiet camaraderie. You are all servants of the palace, your skills dedicated to the glory of the God King and the smooth functioning of the two lands. Ahead, you see an older man. He is a goldsmith named Cajmni. He walks slowly, his steps careful on the path. He carries a heavy leather bag filled with his delicate tools. You slow your pace to walk beside him. The sun greets you, Cajmni. You say, your voice low and calm. He turns, his old eyes crinkling at the corners. It greets you, Neb. He replies. His voice is like the sound of dry reeds rubbing together. The river is high today. It is a good sign. You walk together in comfortable silence for a while. You match your steps to his slower and more deliberate. You watch the river. You see a skiff, its sail made of woven papyrus, gliding silently south. The fisherman on board is casting his net. It flies out in a perfect circle, like a spider's web, and settles softly on the water's surface. The flint is good this season, Cajmni says, after a time, speaking of the stone used for finer carving. It comes from the eastern wadis. It holds an edge well. You listen. The technical talk of materials is soothing. It speaks of a world where things are made with care and knowledge. You talk of the copper that has arrived from the mines of Sinai. You talk of the quality of the charcoal that the woodcutters bring. As you near the workshops, the path begins to slope upward. Ever so slightly, Cajmni's breath becomes a little labored. You reach out, and without a word, you take the heavy leather bag from his shoulder. You sling it over your own. The weight is not too much. It feels good to help. Cajmni places a hand on your arm. A brief, silent thank you. You continue your walk. The sounds of the workshops are now faintly audible. A soft, distant clanging. A rhythm that is already familiar and comforting. You feel the sun on your back. You feel the solid earth beneath your feet. You feel the gentle weight of the old man's tools. Your breathing is deep, and even your mind is clear and focused on the simple physical act of walking. Each step is a meditation. Each breath is a quiet prayer of thanks for the river, for the sun, for the path. and for the company of a friend. The workshop gates are just ahead. But you do not hurry, you walk slowly, you breathe deeply. You feel the peace of the morning settling deep within your bones. Your body is ready for the day's work, but your mind is still and calm as the surface of the Nile at dawn. Your steps slow, almost to a stop. The distant clanging becomes a soft, metallic whisper, the image of the flowing river. And the old heron fills your mind. A deep sense of peace washes over you like the warm water of the Nile. Your eyelids grow heavy with the rhythm of the walk. The world softens and blurs at the edges. The path ahead seems to shimmer in the morning heat. You feel you could walk forever on this peaceful road, by this timeless river, and so you drift into a gentle walking dream where every step is light and every breath is slow. You drift into a deep and restful peace. Chapter 3: The Heart of the Fire. You are inside the palace workshop, now a long rectangular building with a high roof supported by thick wooden columns. The walls are made of mud brick, and the floor is hard-packed earth. The air here is different. It is warm and dry, and smells of earth and metal and fire. Along the center of the room are the hearth's simple clay-lined pits. Where the fires burn, the fires are not roaring, but are a deep, glowing bed of charcoal. Their heat is a constant, radiating presence. You can feel it on your face and on your arms. It is a familiar, comforting warmth. The other smiths are already at their stations. There is no need for loud talk or commands. Everyone knows their role. There is a quiet, efficient harmony to the work. The only sounds are the soft hiss of the bellows, the gentle crackle of the fire, and the occasional clear ring of a hammer on hot metal. You go to your own hearth. Your tools are laid out neatly on a low wooden bench, your hammers of different sizes and weights, your tongs, their wooden handles smooth from years of use, your anvil, a heavy block of bronze set firmly into a log of tamarisk wood. You kneel by the fire. You take a pair of bellows made from a goat's skin with a clay nozzle. You place the nozzle at the edge of the fire and begin to pump the bellows, slowly and rhythmically. Your breath and the breath of the bellows become one, in and out, in and out. The charcoal glows brighter, a deep, vibrant orange. The heat intensifies, a wave of dry, pure warmth. You take your first piece of metal from a basket. It is an ingot of copper from the royal mines. It is heavy and cool and tinged with a greenish hue. You place it carefully into the heart of the fire, using your long bronze tongs. You watch as the flames, fed by the bellows, begin to lick at its surface. You continue to work the bellows. Your movements are automatic, meditative. You watch the copper as it begins to change. Its dull greenish surface slowly turns to a dull red, then a brighter cherry red, and finally to a glorious, brilliant orange. It begins to glow from within as if it has captured a piece of the sun itself. It becomes soft and malleable, ready to be shaped. This is the first transformation from cold, hard stone to living, flowing light. It is a miracle you have seen 1,000 times, and it never grows old. You watch, mesmerized by the glow. The orange light dances on the dark earth floor, and on the faces of the other smiths. It is a gentle, hypnotic light. When the color is just right, you draw the metal from the fire. It gleams, a shard of captured sunlight, in the dimness of the workshop. You place it on your anvil. You take up your primary hammer. Its haft is worn smooth by your grip. You begin to strike, not with violent force, but with a steady, rhythmic tap. Tap, tap. You are not fighting the metal, you are guiding it, persuading it. The hammer blows are precise and consistent. They fall like a gentle, metallic rain. Each strike flattens the metal, lengthening it, beginning to form the shape of a blade. The hot metal yields to your will. It spreads and flows under the hammer. The sound is a clear, resonant ping that rings softly in the air. It is a clean sound, a pure sound. You turn the metal and strike again. Your whole world narrows to the glow of the metal, the feel of the hammer, and the rhythm of your work. The metal cools, and its glow fades to a deep red. You place it back into the fire to reheat. This process of heating and hammering will be repeated many, many times. It is the work of patience. It is the work of a calm heart and a steady hand. You look around the workshop. The other smiths are deep in their own rhythms. Each has their own fire, their own anvil, their own song of hammer and metal. The air is filled with a soft, percussive symphony. It is not a noise. It is a melody, a lullaby of creation. The warmth of the fire, the rhythm of the hammer, the glow of the metal. All these things weave together into a tapestry of peace. Your mind is empty of all thought. There is only the fire, the metal, and the song. Your arms move, your breath flows, your heart beats in time with your work. A deep, profound contentment fills you from within. You are doing what you were born to do, in a place of harmony and purpose. The glow of the metal softens to a mere memory in your mind. The sound of the hammer becomes a distant, gentle chime. The warmth of the fire wraps around you like a soft blanket. Your eyelids grow heavy with the heat, and the rhythm, the world is reduced to a soft orange glow and a gentle ringing silence. You feel your body relax into the familiar motions. Your thoughts drift away on the warm air rising with the smoke through the high roof into the blue sky. You drift into the heart of the fire, where all is warm and soft and glowing. You drift into a deep and restful sleep. Chapter 4. The Rhythm of the Hammer. The blade is taking shape now. You have been working for many hours in the gentle rhythm of the workshop. The copper, once a lump of raw potential, is now long and flat and tapering to a point It is a rough form, but the promise of a fine weapon is there, visible to your trained eye. Now comes the work of strengthening. You are not just a shaper of metal. You are a giver of strength. You take the blade, heated once more to a glowing orange, and you plunge it, with a soft hiss, into a large clay pot of water. The water bubbles and steams, quenching the metal. This sudden cooling, this shock makes the copper harder and stronger. It is a transformation from softness to resilience. You lift the blade from the water. It is now dark and cool to the touch. Its fiery spirit is tempered, locked inside a hard shell. You run your thumb along its edge, feeling the rough texture. It is not yet sharp. It is not yet smooth. That will come with the next stage, the patient work of the stone. You sit on a low stool, next to a bucket of water and a pile of abrasive stones. You select a stone, a rough piece of sandstone from the quarries. You dip the stone in the water and begin to rub it back and forth along the edge of the blade. The sound is a soft, gritty whisper. S-H-H-H-H, S-H-H-H-H, S-H-H-H-H. This is slow work, deliberate work. There is no rushing this process. Each stroke of the stone removes a tiny, invisible layer of metal. Each stroke brings the edge closer to true sharpness. Your arm moves in a steady pendulum motion. Your mind is quiet, focused only on the feel of the stone against the metal and the soothing, repetitive sound it makes. S-H-H-H-H, S-H-H-H-H, S-H-H-H-H. The sound is like the whisper of the Nile reeds, like the sound of wind over sand. It is a sound that empties the mind and calms the soul. You look at the blade. As you work, you see the faint scratches of the stone, all running in the same direction, a testament to your consistency and care. After a long time with the coarse stone, you switch to a finer one, a smooth piece of quartzite. This stone will polish the edge, refining the sharpness. The sound changes, becomes even softer, a gentle swish, 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 like the sound of a broom sweeping a temple floor. You lose all track of time. The world outside the workshop does not exist. There is only the blade, the stone, the water, and the rhythm. Your breathing slows to match the pace of your work. In and out, swish and swish. You occasionally dip the blade into the water to cool it and to wash away the tiny metal particles. The water in the bucket becomes cloudy with copper dust. You watch the tiny particles swirl and settle in a slow, silent dance. Finally, you stop. You hold the blade up. You run your thumb along the edge again, very carefully. It is now smooth and impossibly sharp, a line of pure potential. It catches the light from the doorway and gleams with a cold, quiet light. It is finished. You look around the workshop. The other smiths are also in this final stage of polishing and sharpening. The loud clang of hammers has been replaced by the soft, sandpaper whispers of stone on metal. It is a room full of hushed, focused energy. a sanctuary of slow creation. Your body is tired, but it is a good tiredness, the tiredness that comes from a day of purposeful work. Your muscles are warm and loose. Your mind is serene and still. You have created something useful and beautiful from the earth itself. The rhythmic sound of the polishing stone echoes in your mind. Swish, swish, swish. It is a gentle, relentless, soothing sound. It pushes all other thoughts away. It fills your consciousness with its peaceful, repetitive melody. Your hands feel the ghost of the motion, still moving in the air. Your ears ring with the soft whisper of the finishing stone. The world slows down to the pace of that single, calming sound. Your eyelids grow heavy with the rhythm of the work. The image of the gleaming blade blurs into a soft line of light. The whisper of the stone becomes a lullaby sung by the earth itself. You drift on the sound of the polishing stone, a gentle boat on a quiet river. You drift into a smooth and polished sleep. Chapter 5. The Gift to the Palace. The day is fading. The fierce white light of the afternoon sun has softened to a deep golden glow. The heat of the day begins to lift, replaced by the first gentle breath of the evening breeze. It is time to present the work to the palace overseer. You and the other smiths gather your finished blades. You wrap each one carefully in a piece of soft, undyed linen to protect its newly polished edge. The bundle of swords is heavy, but the weight feels good in your arms. It is the weight of accomplishment, the weight of a day's honest labor. You walk together out of the workshop and into the golden light. The path to the palace is a familiar one. You walk slowly, your body tired, but your spirit light. The other smiths walk with you, a quiet procession of craftsmen. You pass through the outer gates of the palace complex. The walls here are higher and more beautifully decorated. You see images of the pharaoh making offerings to the gods. The paintings are vivid, filled with blues from crushed lapis, lazuli, and greens from malachite, and reds from ochre. The colors are deep and rich in the slanting evening light. You walk through a garden filled with orderly rows of sycamore fig trees and date palms. Their shadows are long and deep blue on the ground. You smell the scent of flowering mandrakes and of the mint that grows along the water channels. The air is cool and fragrant here, a welcome change from the dry heat of the workshop. You come to the courtyard of the royal workshop's overseer. His name is Mena, a scribe who records all that is made and given to the palace. He sits in the shade of a wooden porch, a papyrus scroll unrolled on his lap. His scribe's kit, with its cakes of red and black ink and its reed brushes, lies beside him. He looks up as you approach. His face is serious, but not unkind. You lay the bundle of linen-wrapped blades gently on the ground before him. One by one, you unwrap them. The polished copper gleams in the soft evening light, They are not ornate. They are tools of purpose, but their clean lines and sharp edges speak of the skill that made them. Mena inspects each one. He holds them up, sighting down the edge to check for straightness. He runs a careful finger over the smooth surface. He tests the balance in his hand. He does not speak. His scrutiny is part of the ritual, part of the respect for the work. Finally, he nods, a slow, deliberate motion. He takes his brush and dips it in the black ink. He makes a notation on his papyrus, a swift, elegant hieroglyph. It is the sign for received, and good, the transaction is complete. The swords now belong to the palace, to the army, to Egypt. He offers you a small cup of wine, a gesture of thanks. You sip it slowly. The wine is sweet and thick, made from grapes grown in the western oases. It tastes of the sun and the sand. It is a fitting end to the day's work. You turn and begin the walk home. The sky is now ablaze with color, the sun. A giant red orb sinks behind the western mountains. The sky is painted in bands of orange and purple, and a deep, soft blue, the first star, the star of the goddess Isis, appears, twinkling softly, just above the horizon. The city is settling down for the night. The sounds are gentle, the smells of evening meals cooking over fires, the laughter of children. Being called inside, the air is cool on your skin. You feel the gentle fatigue in your muscles. A pleasant, earned sensation. You walk without hurry. You watch the river as it flows dark and silent now, reflecting the last colors of the sky. The water lilies on its surface are closing their blossoms. For the night, a lone bat flits silently overhead. A sense of deep peace settles over the land and over you. You think of the fire, the hammer, the stone. You think of the finished blade gleaming in the overseer's courtyard. You feel a quiet pride, a sense of having contributed to the great and timeless cycle of life along the Nile. You reach your street. You see the light of your own hearth fire glowing through your doorway. Tia will be there, and Peppy, the evening meal, will be waiting, simple and good. You stand for a moment on your threshold, looking back at the darkening sky. The palace is a silent silhouette. The stars are coming out, one by one. The world is hushed and beautiful and still. Your journey is complete. Your work is done. Your body is tired, and your heart is full. You take one last, deep breath of the cool evening air. You smell the river and the bread and the coming night. Your eyelids grow heavy with the weight of the day, and the peace of the evening, the image of the starry sky, fills your mind. The silence of the night wraps around you like a soft, dark blanket. You step inside toward the warmth and the rest that awaits you. And so, you let go of the day. You release the sounds, the sights, the feelings. They all fade into a soft, dark, velvety silence. You drift on the calm waters of the night. You drift into a deep and dreamless and perfectly restful sleep. Chapter 6. The cool of the evening hearth. You are home. The woven reed mat is soft beneath you. The air in your house is now cool again. The thick mud brick walls have released the heat of the day. They now hold the gentle chill of the desert night. You sit cross-legged. Your wife, Tia, is beside you. Your son, Peppy, leans against your side. His small body is warm and heavy with tiredness. Before you, in the center of the room, a small fire burns in the clay hearth. It is not the fierce, roaring fire of the workshop. This is a small, domestic fire. Its flames are low and golden. They dance and flicker, casting soft, moving shadows on the walls. The shadows sway and bow, like acacia trees in a gentle breeze. The main meal of the day is finished. You ate a simple stew of lentils and onions. You had more of the coarse, dark bread, perfect for scooping up the last drops. There were slices of cool cucumber from the garden, and a few ripe figs, their purple skins split open to reveal the sweet, red flesh inside. Your stomach is full and content. Now Tia prepares a final drink for the evening. She takes a handful of dried herbs from a small clay pot. There is chamomile, with its small, daisy-like flowers. She grew it in a pot in the courtyard. There's a sprig of fresh mint, its scent sharp and clean. And a little piece of cinnamon bark, a rare treasure traded from the south. She crushes them gently between her palms. The fragrant pieces fall into a pot of water warming at the edge of the fire. You watch the water slowly heat. Tiny bubbles begin to form at the bottom of the pot. They rise like strings of tiny pearls to the surface. The steam that rises is fragrant and soothing. It smells of flowers and earth and sweet spice. It is the smell of peace, the smell of the day's end. Peppy's eyelids are already drooping. He fights to keep them open, watching the fire. You put an arm around him. You feel the steady, slow beat of his heart against your side. His breathing is deep and even. The firelight plays on his smooth, young face. Tia pours the fragrant tea into 2 simple clay cups. She does not fill them to the top. She leaves room so you can hold the warm cups without burning your hands. You take one. The clay is warm and rough against your palms. You bring the cup to your face. You close your eyes and breathe in the steam. It fills your lungs. It clears your mind of the last remnants of the day, the memory of the fire, the sound of the hammer. You take a small sip. The tea is hot, but not scalding. It tastes of flowers and a gentle sweetness. It has no honey, but the chamomile and mint provide their own natural nectar. It is a quiet taste, a taste that asks for nothing, a taste that simply is. You sit in silence. There is no need for words. The crackle of the fire is conversation enough. The soft hiss of a dying ember is enough. Outside, you hear the crickets begin their nightly chorus. It is a rhythmic, chirping song that fills the darkness. It is a sound as constant as the Nile. You look at Tia. The firelight softens her features. It highlights the gentle curve of her smile. Her eyes reflect the tiny flames. She is looking at Peppy, her expression full of a quiet, boundless love. You feel a deep, swelling gratitude in your chest. Gratitude for this shelter, for this food, for this family, for this simple, perfect moment. You take another sip of the tea. The warmth spreads through your body. It starts in your belly and moves outward to your fingers and your toes. The day's tiredness, which was a dull ache in your muscles, now becomes a soft, heavy comfort. It is a weight that pulls you gently toward rest. You finish your tea. You place the empty cup on the floor beside you. The fire is burning lower now. The flames are just faint, blue tongues licking the last pieces of charcoal. The shadows in the room grow longer and still. The dance of light and dark slows to a gentle halt. Peppy is fully asleep now. His breathing is a soft, steady whisper. You carefully lift him. He is limp and heavy in your arms. You carry him to his sleeping mat in the corner. You lay him down and pull the linen sheet up to his chin. He stirs for a moment, then settles back into deep slumber. You return to the hearth. You and Tia sit for a few moments more, watching the fire die. The last embers glow, a deep, pulsating red. They look like a tiny city of fallen stars, nestled in the gray ash. One by one, they too fade, from red to gray, returning to the earth. The room is dark now. The only light comes from the high window, where the starlight filters in, pale and silver. The only sounds are the crickets outside and the soft, rhythmic breath of your sleeping son. Your own breath slows to match his. In and out, in and out. The feeling of the warm cup is still in your hands. The scent of chamomile is still in the air. The love in your heart is a soft, glowing ember. Your eyelids grow heavy as the last light fades from the room. The world is soft and dark and safe. The day is done. All its labors are complete. All its rhythms are finished. You feel yourself sinking into the peace of the night. It holds you like the river holds a boat. It rocks you gently, slowly. You drift on the fragrant steam of the evening tea. You drift into the warm, dark silence of the night. Chapter 7. Under the blanket of the stars. It is time for sleep. You and Tia rise from the hearth. Your movements are slow, fluid, dreamlike. The cool night air settles on your shoulders. You walk to your sleeping space. The wooden headrest waits for you. It is a familiar shape in the dim starlight. You lie down on your own sleeping mat. The linen sheet is cool at first, but soon warms with the heat of your body. You settle your neck onto the curve of the headrest. It is firm and supportive. It cradles your head, lifting it just enough to let the night air circulate. It is an ancient design, perfect for the climate of Kemet. You look up. Through the high window, you can see a square of the night sky. It is a deep, velvety blue, almost black. And in this square, the stars are scattered like grains of shining sand. They do not twinkle fiercely here. They glow with a steady, calm light. They are the lamps of the gods, lighting the way for the sun boat through the dark underworld. You can see the long, misty river of stars that is the Milky Way. The ancient Egyptians called it the Nile in the sky. It is the celestial counterpart to the life-giving river that flows just beyond your door. It is a reminder that the order of the world mad extends far beyond the earth into the infinite cosmos. Everything is connected. The river below mirrors the river above. Your own breath mirrors the rhythm of the universe. You listen to the sounds of the night. The crickets are still singing their endless, gentle song. Now, you can hear the distant, lonely cry of a jackal far out in the desert beyond the river. It is not a scary sound. It is part of the music of the night, a mournful, beautiful note in the symphony of darkness. Closer, you hear the soft rustle of the papyrus reeds along the riverbank. The night breeze, the breath of the god Shu, is moving through them. It is a dry, whispering sound, a lullaby sung by 1,000 green tongues. You feel the weight of your body on the mat. You feel the solid earth beneath you. You are grounded. You are safe. You are home. The day has been long and good. Your arms are tired from the hammer. Your eyes are tired from the glow of the fire. Your mind is tired from the focus of your craft. This tiredness is not a burden. It is a gift. It is an invitation to rest, a demand to let go. You close your eyes. The images of the day float gently behind your eyelids. The glow of the copper, the steady rhythm of the hammer, the feel of the polishing stone, the smile of the old goldsmith, the weight of the finished blades, the taste of the evening tea, the love in Tia's eyes. These images are not sharp or demanding. They are soft, like watercolors left in the rain. They blur and blend together into a beautiful, meaningless swirl of color and feeling. There is no story to follow, no problem to solve, only sensations drifting in the warm, dark sea of your mind. Your breathing becomes very slow, very deep. You inhale the cool night air. You exhale the warmth of your body. With each exhale, you release a little more of the day. You let go of the heat of the forge. You let go of the sound of the metal. You let go of all thought, all worry, all memory. Your body begins to feel incredibly heavy. Then, it begins to feel incredibly light. You cannot tell where your body ends and the air begins. You are floating on the mat. You are floating on the river of the night. The sound of the crickets and the rustling reeds merge into one sound. It becomes a soft, humming static. The voice of the night itself. It fills your ears. It blocks out everything else. A final, deep sense of peace descends upon you. It is a physical feeling, like a soft, heavy, warm blanket being laid over you. It starts at your head and moves down to your feet. As it moves, every muscle, every nerve, every fiber of your being relaxes completely. You are now under the blanket of the stars. You are part of the quiet hum of the universe. You have given your day to your work, to your family, to your pharaoh, to your gods. Now, the night is yours for rest. for renewal. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to think. There is only breath. There is only peace. Your eyelids are sealed shut now, heavy as stone. The world has dissolved into a soft, dark, silent embrace. You drift, you sink, you let go into the deepest, most restful, and most peaceful sleep